I think I found a new favourite Tier 7 battleship, and it's British, and it's called the Lion. And no spoilers in this one, but there's Wargaming CC on the red team too, which I didn't realise until the end of the game. So see if you can spot them when we get to the end screen for the results. But I've been playing this one to try and get my top 3 finishes, and I've enjoyed playing it, but it may not be the build that everybody would use on a British battleship. But what I liked about this was you've got good high explosive penetration along with a 46% fire chance. The heals on it are absolutely huge. It reminds me of a Nelson for the heals, and it's got reasonable, it says powerful AA defenses. I haven't had too many carriers come near me. I don't know why. Maybe it's for that reason. But quick rundown of the ship. There we are, 67,900 hit points. We've got a 31% reduction in torpedo damage, which is useful. We've got 3 turrets, 406mm guns, and then we go 46% fire chance, 6,900 HE damage, and 12,000 and something AP damage. There's the AA defenses. As I said, haven't had a chance to try that out against a carrier yet, but they didn't come near me. It turns all right. I feel it's quite agile the way I play it. It stops and starts well enough. So, yeah, I'd say it plays a little bit like a Scharnhorst for maneuverability. Concealment, who cares? It's a battleship. You're gonna get spotted anyway. But as far as mods go, we're running an aiming system mod 1 to give us that reduction in dispersion on the main guns. And then we've got a propulsion mod. I might actually change this for steering gears and give it another go, see how that works for me though. Switching on to slot 3, we've got concealment system mod 1, which obviously increases income and fire dispersion, but also reduces our detectability. And I'm not running a legendary mod, even though I've got one, but we've got 10% reduction on our reload time, but we do lose some turret traverse there. As far as build goes, this might seem a little bit unusual to you, but I'm using Charles Madden. That bit isn't unusual, but I know you're looking at the inspirations. And we got not the one for nuisance to reduce our chance of catching fire and risk of flooding from torpedoes. Yeah, that doesn't work much. But then we're running crisscross to give us some gun traverse. It's okay. It's not the fastest, but it's also not the slowest. We're then running firefighter to reduce our risk of catching fire. Yeah, I'd hate to think of how many times I get set on fire otherwise. But then we're running master mechanic to give us those super heals and a couple of extra charges on it as well. And then just for that extra little bit of life saving, we are running Will to Rebuild, which will get nerfed at some point. But inspirations, we've got Zhao Zhard, because I didn't feel the guns were hitting hard enough with armor piercing, and I threw that on just to give me some extra pen. Worked nicely for me on a few occasions. And then we're running the new Azure Legends New Jersey, because battleships fire at range and almost an extra 5% damage just for being over 10 k's away is always worth it, because every hit point off the red team counts. Now, I didn't actually look at the team list before we started this game, but we're starting on CCAP, and so we're going to play CCAP. Now, I always play my battleships cautiously, or I try to play them cautiously, because although I do go out and practice in AI, AI is not exactly the same environment as a standard match. So once I've had a tinker in AI, I then bring it out into standard and see what I can do. And as I said, apart from lacking torpedoes, I felt that this very much plays like the Tier 6 German battleship slash cruiser. The Scharnhorst, and some people might tell me I'm ridiculous for thinking that. But yeah, it's reasonably maneuverable. I've got something like a 26 and a bit second reload on this. The fire setting chance at 46% is really good. Now, I'm looking here to see we've got along. There's some very, very big ships out there, and very big ships that I know that I can't go up against. Now, looking at that Kagero, he's a stealthy boat, but he goes in and parks against that island. I'm pulling forward to see when I get detected, and you'll notice I'm already slamming on the brakes, because there we go, I'm spotted. So I get an idea that the destroyer is there on the left hand side, and before too long, obviously, torpedoes are going to be coming down our way. Now, I'm not going to sit here forever, but I'm going to sit here long enough to take a torpedo. I'm expecting that Kagero to push the cap anytime soon, but he's just going to let red team turn it. And this is just given the advantage away. I really do want to push in, but not against all those torpedoes, and not when we can't see the ships that are out there at red team's spawn. So I'm still spotted. There's another set of torpedoes. That's a widespread. He got us for one. Now watch this. I am going to let this flood run and run and run, and you will get an example of just how big these heels are. Because as well as the big heel, we're also obviously getting an extra 8% on our heels every time we hit that button, because of the perks we have on our commander. So I've dropped detection. I'm kind of on mic. You can see my mic, and I'm talking. I'm saying, "Come on, Kagero, push that cap. Let's get in there. Let's get this guy spotted. I've got HE loaded. Yo, we're ready for him." And yeah, it's not happening. The guy is, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why he won't push. But we're going to look around, see if there's any targets. We obviously haven't contributed much at the moment. We're kind of sitting here and holding, waiting to see if we get spotted again, which would mean that the destroyer is coming down through the cap. Kagero, Kagero, oh, where art thou, Kagero? Yeah, I'm not going to push out again and take a torpedo, but you see I've already bumped up a huge amount of health from having that flood, because flood damage and fire damage is repairable. And where I've had to use it and got the timing right on this thing, I have really, I think, surprised some people by bumping up 3 or 4 bars of health in one go, and come out top on a couple of, one-on-ones. It's, ships that I thought would really decimate me. I've managed to have a decent run of luck with this ship, and I have enjoyed playing it. I've played it a lot through all of the last legendary mod that I'm going for, which requires British, Japanese or Russian battleships, 7 to legendary. I've got the Key at 7, I've got this at 7, I've got a Conqueror at legendary. I don't like legendary, it's too many credits to throw away. But we're looking for this guy, Azulay, New Jersey, running clear of that to see if we can get some shots across the top. There we go. So we're going to put those shots across the top, firing. We're not spotted. That tells me that the destroyer isn't out here. The Kagero is finally pushing in. It doesn't look like there's any red team to the 9 o'clock of the minimap. There they are there. But I think I am screened for them. So I am going to push straight across this cap. Literally, we're doing a chicken run, and then it's like, oh crap, look what's out there. So we're going to fire again. Try and get some fires on these guys before we disappear behind this island. And again, we aren't spotted, but we do land a fire. This isn't going to be an absolutely huge damage game. This is going to be play for position. Now what I will say is that red team ship that is out there all on its lonesome on that flank, that's our CC. And he is playing his ship very, very well. I did actually go back and rewind his live stream, because it turned out he was live streaming. And I went and had a look afterwards and watched the match back from his side, and he turned around and he said, yeah, well, this one looks like it's lost because, he's out there on his own and nobody else has pushed with him. If only one or two of these ships had pushed with him, I think that flank might have been a very, very different game. Now, we are spotted now. There's the destroyer. He's come out. I've just fired my guns and I'm like, oh crap, here come the torpedoes. But he has got himself spotted. Both of our destroyers are on this flank now. And what we're going to see happen is what everybody's been complaining about in this game so far. If you know the expression, like dogs knotted, the two destroyers run into each other and get stuck. And I'm like, oh dear, what now? That Z-23 would be brilliant running that smoke down with his sonar, but he takes a torpedo. So I'm going to get another couple of turrets across onto that New Jersey. The Kagero starts firing at us. And I'm like, what were you thinking? Because there's two destroyers there. There's another battleship pushed up this flank with me. And I'm a little bit disappointed myself because I didn't want to push out into open water there. But this guy's going to get himself focused. Was he a little bit overzealous in his push so soon? Yes, because those destroyers are getting taken apart. That is not good. I said, I'm playing cautiously. I'm moving forwards, backwards. Get the shot off. See if we get a fire. Wait for the reload. We know we've got red team there. They know that they can't back up. If they back up, I can pull back this way and I can still use this forward backward motion to move, shoot, back up. I'm playing survival. I know I can't take a broadside off all those guys. I know there's more ships that I can't see. So I am going to do what I can here. Now I can't get that Kansas locked. Is it Kansas? Behind there? Yep. I can't get him locked because the other ship is in front of him, so I just fire two turrets over. But I have no idea where those shells went, but they didn't go anywhere near the target, even though the reticule was sort of straight over the top of the ship. Now there's that battleship pushing out. As I said, I feel a little bit bad that I didn't rush out into open water with him, but I don't think that would have been a smart move for me. He's got the destroyer there beside him for Will to rebuild, but it looks like the destroyer is going away from him. Pay attention, destroyers. Stick with the battleship when he's low health. Get Will to rebuild. But we do get a fire on that Georgia, and it looks like he is going to tick down. He burns out. I'm happy with that. Now let's have a look and see what else is out there. There's the Kansas. It turns out he is AFK. Whether or not he got disconnected at the start of the game, I don't know. But we put shots onto him as well, and he ticks for a fire, and he's gone. And here goes the last battleship, the guy that pushed out. We've got a Mainz CE and we've got an Amalfi, and I know that they are both fire-starting monsters. So we're thinking, what do we do here? This Amalfi is going to play smart, but he's going to be forced into an error. He pops a smoke, he's got a plane up, he can see me, I can see him for the moment, and I know without a doubt that he is going to turn and try and put torpedoes out. Look at that wreck in front of me, that's what I want to use as a shield. So he's turned, he's now going away from us, and I'm thinking, okay, we've got AP loaded, what do we do here? We wait, we slow, we slam on the brakes. We see the Mainz, he's broadside to us. We should have aimed a little bit higher there for that Mainz, I think, and led him a little bit more. But we just avoid those torpedoes. And here where this nice fast reload is going to come into its own. We're pushing for the cap now. Red team have been taken apart. Our destroyer gets himself spotted somehow, and the Amalfi kills him. But the Amalfi has run himself in, and he goes back to port, and I think his head must still be ringing now because those shells pinned him to that cliff. We've got the Mainz. I'm burning. I don't need to repair this fire. I've still got 50% of my hit points left. I've still got heals left. I can afford to take some damage. I can afford to turn against this guy. So knowing that he's playing agile, we spread those shots around a little bit, but before we get a chance to see if they land, the game ends. So here comes the stats. 81,500 damage. We get the Div Strike on the Amalfi. We also get Unsinkable, and that's actually the third time I've picked up that medal in this ship today. It seems to be an easy one to do as long as you survive the game. But have a look there on Red Team. Can you spot the CC? There he is. It's the Monk 5-2. So GG to the Monk. I did watch your gameplay back, and yes, you're right. Your team just sat back and didn't help at all. And you did play that side of the map very, very well indeed. But I get a third overall, and I actually only needed one more after this to complete that stage. So now we're on the hunt for 10 kills. But I hope you have enjoyed that one. It's not a ship I see played often, but I have enjoyed playing it over the last few days. So keep an eye out for it if it appears in the store again. If you've liked that one, hang around, click one of these ones, and don't forget, smash the like button, leave me a comment. And if you haven't already done so, please do subscribe to the channel. So until next time, take care and goodbye.